Hello, this is Caleb with Garvin Sewer Service. I am at 616 Pine, and we're at the clean out that's in the middle of the yard. It's like 40 feet past those little bellies in part one. This is part two. What happened is we discovered that we have the other technician did not go nearly as far enough. What we're looking at, I can barely push it all the way out there. What we're looking at is the manhole, not the one that's in front of the house, but the one down the way. This line's approximately 180 feet because I do believe that I had an error code for a second, so we're going to double check the distance. We got another maybe 4 feet to the, maybe a little less, but we're going to say about 175 feet from the bottom of the sweep to the clean out, and then we'll make sure the distance, because I had an error code pushing out and it was so difficult, I didn't want to backtrack. So we are looking at SDR. In front of us, that's not roots, that's actually the concrete for the manhole. I popped it, we go directly to that manhole. So we're going to start pulling back, and as we pull back, I'm going to double check everything and make sure, one, you're going to see some roots. The farther out the cable goes, the less effective the cleaning is, but the roots are cut out pretty good for now. They're going to last some time. So there's the SDR is just a little bit of that section. So now we're looking at clay, and we're in the street coming back. So we got root intrusion pretty much throughout this entire clay pipe. And I had to fight. It was not easy to get these out. So around this section right here, around the 80 foot to 125 foot is where we had the vast majority of our roots, and then closer to the end, we had a lot of roots. The farther out we go, the less effective the cleaning is because there's less rotations. We do have a section of SDR, which is very interesting. And I did locate this spot. This is actually not this is not in the street now. This goes to the first flag that's by the street and then runs parallel to the sewer. In the street, there's a manhole just to the front of the house, and then a little bit farther down, and then the next manhole is actually where we go. So I located this spot at 3 foot 8 inches deep. You can see the top of that pipe doesn't look good. It was banded on with SDR at some point. I think that compression might have started a crack that has now caused that crack that we see. So there's the first of 3, and then I'm going to point out another section here in a second, I believe. Where did it go? All right here. So I think this is actually, hold on, let me pull back a little bit and get my ducks in a row, because I want to make sure I get everything pointed out first. All right, so our SDR right here, we do have a compression band right there. There were no roots in this section, so that's been banded in. This is the first crack. This is the first flag. Pretty much, if you're standing at the house, is looking at the house is to the left by the curb. This is 3 feet, and I believe it's like 4 inches deep. That is the first flag by the curb marked where that crack was. And then right here is the second flag that's marked, still on the curb running down the street. This part that I want to point out is the lower left side. It's kind of, see how it's protruding up, kind of jagged on this bottom and left side. So I marked that. And then right here is our next area on the top side that is still on the curb by the second manhole. That is not the manhole that we're going to. So on the top side right there, you see I've cleaned it a lot, and I've deduced that that is not blade marks. That does look like it's a crack. It definitely is now that I'm looking at it. So there's one other section that I want to point out. I'm not sure I've marked that one. I want to see, I do have a few spray painted spots in the yard. We do turn, we are now in the street. Maybe not. I didn't see it. Again, maybe it was around the... Oh, it's this section right here. So the top of this pipe that's banded onto this SDR that's in the street. I'm assuming when they compressed it, it might have started cracking. So I'm going to go locate this spot right quick too. Okay, the depth of that is 3 foot 9 inches. That is in the street running towards that manhole. I have it marked with a C and an arrow. And so this is all the problems we have. We have the 2 bellies on the first part video, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 sections that look like we have hairline cracks that are starting. You know, the new homeowners are interested in maybe talking about getting the whole clay replaced. So I'll pull back and get the distance from the SDR. So it was 180 feet to the manhole, and we'll remember that that was 105 feet to that spot. So then 62 is our third one. And then 52 is our second one. And then 26 is our first one. So 26, 52, 62, and 105 feet. Then our SDR is from 25 feet, or 24. So just that next section is really what that first crack is. So total clay is 25 to roughly 170, because that last section was SDR. So we have 145 feet of clay, roots throughout, and then again the 26 foot, 52, 62, and 105 is where the cracks are. If we do not get all the clay removed, then this line will need to be cleaned out yearly to make sure the roots are done. It won't be as hard as it was today. So if there's no more clean outs put in, we will have to clean farther than 120. We'll have to at least put on a whole nother reel to be safe. If we get all the clay removed, that would get rid of the roots. So that would be a permanent fix-all. And then if we only do spot repairs, we would like to put a clean out in one of the sections that we are in by the curb. That way we don't have to put on an extra reel and the cleaning's more effective. But I do recommend doing an estimate for getting all the clay removed, as well as maybe if that's too much, maybe doing spot repairs on the 4 cracked areas and the 2 bellies. So the SDR from the clean out to this location is in good shape. So that should be it. I'm going to put all this into this scope report. Julie, if you have any other questions, please give me a call. Anybody else who has any questions, give me a call. I will also put all this notes into the invoice, what I've done today, what I've discovered, the depths, the locations. So far, all the depths are under 4 feet. So please give me a holler if anything doesn't make sense. Thank you for your time. I know it was a long video.